Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about your business setup, insurance needs and requirements. My name is Lisa Myers, the Business Owner's Advocate, and I'm just passionate about helping companies, whether you're in the trade industry or startup companies, to just build a strong foundation so you can go out and make money and succeed. The SBA says that nearly 50% of all businesses that start nearly in 5 years have closed their business. And I don't want that to happen to you. So some of these things, insurance needs and requirements, and why, and when and where do you need insurance? I had a friend that she wanted to set up a essential oil business, and this was years ago. And she spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in research and also buying these essential oils, finding companies that she could get her product from. And the theme is that she was going to be a wholesaler and bring these oils in, store them, and then also produce them and send them out. Well, when she went to get insurance, the requirements that they had for the insurance and the cost put her out of business. And had she done some investigation before that, found out what the needs were, what she'd need through insurance, and what that would look like, would help her. I know that, like, for contractors, for instance, so if you're in the construction industry and say you're that middleman, for instance, like maybe carpet. So you buy the carpet and then you hire contractors to do the installations. Well, insurance looks at that now you are a general contractor. And because of that, there's more risk involved. And with that, you think, well, okay, insurance shouldn't be that expensive. But your what we call our standard markets, a lot of times will not insure you. So you have to go to other standard, and it can cost a lot of money. And I've worked with insurance companies and in commercial for the last few years, and stepped away. Now I do referral with insurance agents to make sure that I can find the best insurance agents and carriers for you, for your business. And what they found out was that it was costing them a lot. And especially if you're just a one-man show, and you think, okay, I can make a little bit of money. I can make money on, buying the carpet, and then I can make money on the installation. But insurance is a big deal, and it can be very costly. And so you always want to make sure that you've got the right insurance needs and what those requirements are and what the insurance companies are going to be looking for. And sometimes it can be absolutely overwhelming. So first of all, there's a lot of different types of insurance. So we've got business and property insurance, or what we call BOP. And so BOP insurance is kind of like if you've got a location and you've got property. So you want to have, general liability if somebody comes in and trips. You want to make sure that they're covered. Now, usually, like in a business office, you'll say, well, I don't need to worry about that because the business owner, or the landlords have insurance. They do. However, they don't have the coverage for you when you're walking into or they're inside your business. So you need to make sure that you have insurance coverage for that. You want to make sure that your property, that you may only have, maybe 5, 10, 25,000, but you also may have hundreds of thousands of dollars in property. And it doesn't have to be, large things. We had a testing company that had all of this electronics, a large amount of money in a small area. So the size does not necessarily matter. It's the cost and liability that you have. So a lot of times business and property insurance is going to, it doesn't have to cost a lot. It just depends on what that liability coverage is going to look like. General liability insurance is that you want to make sure that you're covered, that your employees are covered. So say, for instance, again, let's talk about carpet cleaning. Maybe they carpet cleaning, and I knew a person that, the floor was wet. in her home, and she went down and she slid down her stairs. Well, then she sued the carpet company because she said that it was supposed to be dry and it wasn't. And because they had the general liability, then their insurance, helped cover that claim. So you always want to make sure that you've got the right amount and that you're covered for the right things. So you may need to have different classifications depending on, again, what your business is like. And then professional insurance. So what we call errors and omissions, or E&O insurance. That can be whether you're a doctor. They have malpractice insurance, but also it's professional. So it depends on what industry you're in. Consulting, web design. If you're a notary, you need errors and omission. So, looking at those things. And then workers' comp is for when you have employees. So if they're getting hurt on the job or something, that you've got coverage there. Now, a lot of times you can do, if you're just the one-man show again, you can apply for an exemption so that you yourself don't need the workers' comp insurance. And then key man insurance, we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. But if you've got personnel that specialize, and if they were to leave your company and it could actually damage, or it take time for you to replace them, you can look at key man insurance, partnership insurance. And then also commercial auto insurance. If you're driving a vehicle, especially if you've got vehicles that have advertisement on your cars, they can really be a target out there. And so if you've got employees in that are driving vehicles, you want to make sure that you're covered. So let's talk a little bit about, I'm going to move this down here. Let's talk a little bit about BOP insurance. So you want to make sure that you're working with a commercial insurance agent. And there's a lot of great carriers out there. The Hartford Insurance is really good for small businesses, dentists, consultants, and so forth. They really do a great job. Progressive, especially with commercial auto and so forth. And they've just brought in some more now, small business, Nationwide brokerage, as well as American Family, Farmers, and more. And so you also want to get a few quotes to compare as well. And again, I can help you, especially if you're in Utah. I've got some amazing agents that I work with. There's going to be questions that they ask you. So business information that they want. How long, when were you established? How long have you been in business? Your address and your annual, estimated income. Even if you've just barely started, they want to have an idea, right? Even if you have to kind of pull it out in thin air, be conservative, but at the end of the year, then they're going to do an audit. So you can also say, okay, for this year, I'm just getting started 2021. And I'm going to say that I'm going to make, maybe $75,000 income. Okay. It's just getting started. Maybe it's just a side hustle. And maybe 6 months down the road, you're doing extremely well, and you've already hit over 150,000. Then I would advise you to contact your agent and let them know so that they can make those adjustments. So at the end of the year, when you're doing an audit, you're not going to get hit with a huge bill. If you've got employees, right, they're going to ask you if you have employees, and then also the type of business that you're doing, because they want to know kind of what that liability looks like. Estimated property costs, your liability coverage, how much is the building that you're in, or if you own the building. These are what are called accord forms. So accord forms are the forms that a lot of agencies use. A lot of times they have their own. colonialgeneral.com application directory is a great avenue where you can go and download their PDF, their fillable forms. I'd invite you to fill out those forms, and then you can send those for those quotes. It makes it so easy for insurance agents. And you can kind of get all your information in essence, what they call ducks in a row when you go for that insurance quote. And mind you, you don't have to have your company all up and running yet, but you can at least get some quotes and get some ideas of what that's going to look like. General liability insurance is, if you don't need the BOP, if you don't say that you are a home-based business, you really don't need a BOP insurance because of property and it's your home, right? your homeowner's insurance could cover a lot of that because you could get a home-based insurance rider on your homeowner's insurance. So you might just need general liability insurance. Again, if you're a contractor, subcontractor, all of them need a general liability insurance. And they're going to be asking you basically the same questions and pretty much the same forms you're going to need to fill out as well. And they're going to want to know what that liability amount is. Excuse me. And again, if you have those, it's just easier to fill out, but an agent will help you as well. Professional insurance, errors and omission. This one gets a little bit more trickier because there can be a lot of lawsuits, hey, they told me this amount is, so there's a lot more liability in certain different businesses. So like maybe a financial advisor, even an insurance agent needs that professional liability coverage. And so they're going to ask you, again, when you establish the owner's address, annual income, but also the type of business, but type of customers. And they're going to want to know the income from the largest 5 customers because they want to know what kind of exposure you're looking at. And a lot of times the deductibles on errors and omissions can be extremely high. So they can start at 5,000, 15, 10, anywhere up. So they can be extremely high based on your liability as well. And so that's always a good one to get to and understand what that insurance is going to look like. Workers' comp insurance. Workers' comp insurance is required. I know in Utah, I'm sure it's required in all of the U.S. And again, they're going to want to know, first of all, safety trainings, types of business. And again, you can fill out these accord forms. Also, all of these insurances are going to want to know if you've got contracts and that. And have those established. So not only do you need the insurance, but you're also going to need legal. And I've got a short series on that as well. So you want to look at the legal and making sure that your company's set up as well. So again, this might be for upper management coverage, but it also might be if you've got a specialized employees that are really key to your company. And this one can be a life insurance policy in case that person dies, or it can also be an insurance policy in case that person leaves, and that it kind of helps pay for that transition, if you will. And then we also have partnership agreements, and partnership agreement is to buy out the partner upon death. And, and the reason behind that, and you also want to make sure that in your partnership agreement that you're having have that written in, because say you, and, say it's your partner and all of a sudden he dies or she dies, and now you're working with the spouse, or maybe both the spouse, maybe they may not even, maybe they're single, then you're working with their family, whoever that will goes to, that's the person you're going to be working with. And also with your partnership agreement, this is kind of more on the legal side, I would also advise that you want to know what the buyout, and that and how they're selling their shares or who they can buy out, and make sure that you have right to first refusal, if you will. But it's so important when you're looking at partners. And make sure that this is a key one, I think, is that life insurance policy to buy out the partner. And it doesn't have to be that expensive. It can be term life. And then commercial auto. You want to make sure that your commercial auto is going to be a lot higher than your personal auto. But if you're just, say if you're a real estate agent and you're not necessarily driving customers around, and that maybe you won't need to look at commercial auto. However, if you are driving customers around, or if you've got, again, marketing on your car, then I would advise you to get some commercial insurance. They're going to want to know the vehicles, the drivers. This is key on your driving experience and on their driving experience, as well as the radius. So if you're driving only, 50 miles, both ways, it may not be as expensive as if you're going over 200 miles and so forth. So they look at the liability, everything about insurance, and a lot of times you think, okay, so the one thing about insurance too is that you're paying with the belief that if something happens, then you'll get compensated. Insurance is as belief is that you're paying and nothing does happen. They're banking on that one. So they want to make sure that they are very low risk. Low risk is going to be lower premiums. Higher risk is going to be higher premium. It just is. And I had doing the insurance, I'd have people say, well, I haven't had any claims and my insurance goes up. And unfortunately, that's true. And that's because with that is that everybody kind of goes into a pool, if you will, of driving experience, age, radius, and so forth. And then they base that on how many claims have been paid out and the amount of driving that you're doing. And so, everything plays a factor in it. So if you can keep your experience and everything down, then of course your premiums are going to be a lot better. So what is needed for insurance? Again, you're going to be asked to have, if you've got contracts for customers and subcontractors and your own safety trainings, they're going to be asking you questions for that. So make sure that you've got safety trainings set up. They're going to want to know where you garage your vehicles and that. Are they all at the same location? Are they secure, not secure? Your credit score, your driving record, and radiuses will all affect your premium. And again, I'm here to help you. Here's my information, and I would love to be of service and to help, direct you into the right areas that you need. Again, my name is Lisa Myers, a business owner's advocate. I work with the trade industries and those that are getting started with startup business or new businesses to build a strong foundation so you can go out and make money and succeed. Have a great day. Bye.